Hi, Eric Gibaud, ericgibaud.com, and today I am in a hotel room in Prague and Czechia. And what for? To tell you everything about the Fujifilm GFX RF. Massive innovation. A medium format compact camera. Well, compact, it's not too big, but compact in the way that it is a fixed lens. You cannot change it. So I'm going to tell you everything about it. So let's start. Actually, I've recorded this video in different places, and so you will, different days, you will see change of look all day. So don't be surprised if you see everything is different all of a sudden. Okay, I've mixed everything when I edited the video. So don't worry. The important is I tell you everything about this camera. So let's carry on. So I've been invited by Fujifilm to Prague to the X Summit. I thank them for that. And important, I still say whatever I want. Okay, the good and the bad point. And second, I think this is even more important. When we try a camera before launch, normally we're on our own, we have just our pictures and our point of view. I had the luck to be able to collaborate to other testers, that were official testers, obviously. And I will show you also some pictures that were not made by me. Okay, so this way it's great because you have different point of view. I don't speak about official pictures by Fujifilm. I speak about other testers like me, okay? And if you want to download some of the pictures, the one that were made by Digit Photo, you can get to their website. It's a shop, okay, online shop, and you can download them to have a look at the original. So I think this is great to have a different point of view, not just mine, to have several point of views, okay? So I'm going to tell you everything about the camera, and I say just what I want. I will activate this video as the end of the embargo at Fujifilm, at the end of the X Summit. So when you see that, it's because embargo has been lifted, but Fujifilm has no idea about what I'm going to tell. So let's start and tell my opinion about this new camera. I forgot to say that I was invited by Fujifilm France, and thanks, really special thanks to Olivier Saint-Géry, who works there and always helps me to get Fujifilm gear so I can present it to you. I guess that when you see this camera, you think about another one. You think about this one, the X106, and it is so similar. Look at the size. The RF is a bit taller, but if you look at the width, it's almost the same. You can see the difference in height, okay? And the thickness is a bit thicker, the RF, but not much. And I think this is so beautiful. When you look at it, I think the grip is really similar, but as it's a bit higher, it's even better to hold, okay? Same thing here, you can put a sun hood and a ring with a filter of this. I'll explain further in the video. But what do you think? Isn't it a beautiful camera? I think it's incredible. We'll see. I will show you pictures. There's some buttons and things like this. But I think this is really an incredible, beautiful camera, no doubt. It's not exactly the same as the X100 Mark VI. So some things are still the same, so I don't even mention. But there are two key buttons here. One is this one. So you can change actually the format ratio. If you want square, 1:1, or you have 3/4 of, or 17:6, or you want 65:24, or 16:9, or 3:2, or 4:3. You have all this, 9 formats, okay? This is really a great feature. And the access is maybe not perfect, but it's not something going to change all the time. But good point. If you work in JPEG, this is the result you will get, okay? You decide to have 16:9 and all your picture will be in 16:9, okay? But if you work RAW file, when you open the RAW file in Lightroom, for example, you will be framed, it will be framed as you shot. But if you go to the option See Original, it will show you the full RAW file and a mark where it was actually framed, okay? So it means if you work in RAW file, you can still use this feature, and then after you can still adjust. It's possible. It's not as if it was a JPEG. So that's a great thing. Second, here you have another button that is here, is to use your 35mm, 28mm equivalent as a zoom lens. Not a zoom, but several focal length, okay? So when you, here you have a normal wheel here that could be speed or shutter speed. We can put it here if you want as many camera, but here just below there's a small button here. And so when I open, I'm on 35mm. When I click, which is 28 equivalent full frame. If I click again, 45mm, which is equivalent of 36 in full frame, and then 63mm, which is equivalent of 50mm in full frame, and an extra one I get 80mm, which is equivalent of 63mm in full frame. So it's like if you have a zoom and same thing. If you work in JPEG, you get this result, but if you work in RAW file, same thing, you can still fix it after. If you look at this here, you have the small door here with double card UHS-2, which is great because many people complain that with the X100 Mark VI, if you have a really risky picture, you cannot repeat because wedding, whatever, you would like to have double card. And here you have it, double UHS-2. Okay, I like the door, it closes really well. On the other side, you have connectivity. Here you have two jacks. One is for headphone, the other one is for microphone or remote control. It's shared, okay, depends what you want to use. And you have a micro HDMI and USB-C. If we look at the monitor, really a great monitor here you have here, okay, that can flip this way and this way, okay, which is same as the X106. And the viewfinder has a peripheral vision. It means that actually you really see everything. And if you wanted to change the ratio or the zoom, if I can call it a zoom, I would still like to see the full picture. You have this option, you see like the full 35mm, and you have the option to be on 80, for example. So you will see a frame as if it was a rangefinder, and you will see where you're framing and still see the full area. So maybe you want to reframe as you use it as a rangefinder, although it's not, okay? So this is really great. If you look at the battery, they've used the standard the larger battery by Fujifilm. They use two sizes, the small one, the big one. This is a big one, and it will give you 820 pictures or 100 minutes of video in 4K. So I think this is well thought. It feels really nice in my hand. The buttons are really at the right place, okay? Here you have several buttons all day, the Q menu, all this. Really, honestly, I think it's really nice. If you look at the other buttons, here you have the typical autofocus selection, single, continuous, or manual. Here you have the back button focus or exposure lock. Here you have a joystick. Here, if you look at this, you have the button, so you can actually change the, activate the ND4. Honestly, the Q button here, everything falls in the right place here. The autofocus, back button focus if you want, or the exposure lock. The buttons, they all are really nice here. The texture, it's all in aluminum, this. And here on the aperture ring, you have like two small peaks here. That really helps, okay, really nice. If you want to manually focus, same thing, the ring is textured because this is fully aluminum. This is really practical, really nice. This here also, just in case you wonder if you still find what other Fujifilm cameras have, the latest, or the GFX at least. Yes, you do have 20 film simulation. If we speak about the lens from f4 to f22, you have 9 blades in there, so it gives actually a nice out of focus part, a nice bokeh, okay? If we look at the ISO, same as the GFX 100 S2 and 102, from 80 to 12,800 ISO, that you can actually force to more than that. And you have compensation minus 5 plus 5. If you look about the shutter is 1/4000th of a second, the mechanical one, the maximum you can get, and the electronic one up to 1/16,000. You have several types of bracketing, focusing bracketing. You also have film simulation bracketing. Well, you have several bracketings as very often. You also have multi-exposure up to 9 pictures. And if we look at what I've got right now, which is the size 133 millimeter high, 90.4 well, large, I would say 133.5 large, 90mm.4 high, 76.5 at the largest thickness, and 32.2 here on the thinnest part. The weight 735 grams, and it is weather sealed when you put the filter on that. But if we speak about the freezing or heat, from -10 degrees Celsius up to plus 40 degrees. Honestly, this is a beautiful, beautiful tool. I really, really like it. The lens has a lift shutter in there. It synchronizes at all speeds, so that's great. So I thought, well, I'm going to bring my Godox Senior that I actually use with my X100 Mark VI. I think this is simply beautiful. Look at this, look, with this flash on top of it, and you know it synchronizes at all speeds. So this is, I think it's beautiful. I'm in love, honestly. So let's speak about the camera. First, when I say innovation, what do I mean by innovation? Well, this is the first medium format camera with a fixed lens, a compact way of doing it. And it's medium format. It means a 1.7 time larger than full frame. And the sensor is the same as you find on the GFX 100S2 with 102 million pixel, and this sensor is already well known, and we know the result all this. Who is this camera for? Good question. Well, I think now we have 3 cameras of that type on the market. Different formats each, but the same idea. One is a Fujifilm X100 Mark VI with 40 million pixel in APS-C format. The other one is Leica Q, the Q3 with 60 million pixel in full frame, and this one that is 102 million pixel in medium format. But the market is people do street photography, reportage, landscape, maybe interior, but they want to have something compact all in one, the lens, everything together, and this is the market. The weight is amazing. Only 735 grams. If you compare to the GFX 50R, that's also had the viewfinder on the corner, okay? It was 775 grams without lens. And this one, you have a lens in there. So yes, that's really light. Of course, if you compare to something that weighs 200 grams, it's heavy, okay? But for that kind of camera, this is really light. For the first time ever, they didn't use magnesium and mix things, all this. They've managed to get a block of aluminum, and they worked everything from there. The top, the bottom, also some buttons. So the touch, the feeling, the look is simply beautiful. So yeah, this is probably the nicest camera they've made so far if we look at this aspect, okay? Let's speak about the lens. 35mm f4. This is the equivalent of 28mm full frame, okay, which is a standard for street photography and for many things. The autofocus is the latest generation based on artificial intelligence. What is not based on that nowadays? They use it for all the time for this word, okay? But more important about this lens, it has a lift shutter. It means the shutter is not in the body, it's in the lens. Several advantages, massive advantages. The first one, you can synchronize your flash at any speed, so this is great. Second, it vibrates a lot less, so you can actually drop the speed of your shutter and it doesn't vibrate, so you can, without having motion blur, so this is also great. And it is also a lot more silent than a shutter in the body, so really great. The viewfinder has peripheral vision. It has 5.76 million pixel, a magnification of 0.84, so we're getting close to human view, so this is great for looking. And also, although it's different, this camera is different from the X100 that has an optical viewfinder. This one has not, but you can still have the same sensation. Let's say you are shooting with the crop at the equivalent of 36mm. You have the option to activate to see the full 28mm in your viewfinder and have a frame that is marked where 36 is, or 63 or 80. So you have exactly the same sensation as a rangefinder. Yeah, it is, although it's called RF, like rangefinder, it is not a physical rangefinder. It's a rangefinder look or type, but it's not an actual rangefinder, okay? But the sensation is so similar. Let's go back to the lens. It's a completely new lens. It's been completely redesigned. It's not one lens adapted from what they already have. It's completely new. 35 millimeter, as I said, equivalent 28 millimeter in full frame, f4. To give you an idea, a medium format, if you never used it, if we speak about depth of field, f4 on medium format is like 2.8 depth of field on full frame or f2 on APS-C. Okay, so they have actually chosen the same depth of field as you get on the Fujifilm X100 series. You have 10 elements in 8 groups. You also find 2 aspherical elements that will reduce aberration, spherical aberration, and also the field curve. It will reduce and better the result. There is a new coating in there, the Nano GI. I don't know exactly what it is. It is to eliminate reflection. Okay, these technical things I don't really know exactly. And the resolution is really in line with the rest of GFX lenses. The minimum focusing distance is only 20 centimeters, which is great because if you want to get really close to your subject, or the typical traveler that makes a picture of his food can be really close and make the picture. So this is beautiful. I really like that. The lens, also something that is a great point. Same as on the X100 Mark VI, you have an included physical ND filter, not a simulation, a real ND filter. It has 4 stops, so you just activate it and it will cut light. So great point. The autofocus is really an advanced system with AI prediction, many types of detection of faces, trains, animals, vehicles, all this. Honestly, I'm not a good judge of autofocus because for me, if with 1 point it's fine, single autofocus, I'm happy. I don't need more. But it's true that the autofocus is really good, okay? So, but for me, there's still some people will be unhappy if the autofocus doesn't make difference between a hair and a lash, okay? So, come on, okay? But for me, what they've done is great, okay? That's enough for me, at least. Although I would not use this camera for videography, some people do. Why wouldn't I use it? Because I prefer to have all the type of camera for video, okay? But some people just want to carry one camera for photography and for video. So it includes a lot of things in video. 4K, 30p, 422, 10-bit. It supports Fujifilm F-Log2 and also has 13 stops of dynamic range. Honestly, as I said, I would not use this for video, but it works, okay? So, well, you have it if you need it. It also supports Frame I/O, so it means if you are a collaborative worker, it means you can make your picture and or your video, it goes out straight away on the network and someone else can get them, or a newspaper, whatever, and already work on them. So for pros, this is really great feature. There are some included accessories. You know that on the Fujifilm X106, you need to, if you want it to be weather sealed, you need to adapt a ring and a filter. Well, they've kept the same system. Why? Because if you weather seal a lens, that makes the lens a lot larger. So as this ring system works on the 100 series, they decided to keep it. So, but you don't have to buy it, optional, it's included. You get a PRF49 filter, a ring that is also beautiful aluminum worked out of the block, a sun hood, and also a beautiful, for the first time I see such a beautiful strap that includes Fujifilm. Normally they have the typical strap that writes Fujifilm. This one is like a rope. It's really beautiful, really nice, and it is included. Are there any negative points? Of course there are. Of course there are. I'm going to tell them. Well, the 2 points I think that are negative for some people and irrelevant for others are the following one. The first one is probably one that is negative for me because of the way I work and because of my spoiled experience. There is no IBIS in this camera. What does it mean? There is no stabilization. In video, yes, there is an electronic stabilization that does crop, okay? But if we look at the photography, you have no IBIS. What does this mean? It means that, honestly, what I see is that you can go down to 1/30th of a second, 1/20th of a second, depending on your pulse, and it will be sharp, no problem. Under that, you will have motion blur. Is it a problem? Some people will tell you, 1/30th, this is great. I always shoot at 1/50th, 1/60th, 1/100th of a second, so it's no problem. Okay, so for some people it will be irrelevant. But some people like me that sometimes make pictures that last for 1 second handheld and it's sharp. That's a problem. So here's the decision is, do you always make pictures that are like 1/10th of a second, 1/5th of a second? Well, that could be a problem for you. But I've got good news for these people, and I'm including myself, is that I know this sensor. I've got it on my GFX 100S2, and you can recover 2-3 stops of shadows, or sometimes even more, that is completely dark. You pull up the picture and the shadows, and you actually see, you discover the picture with no noise. So in case you would need to drop the speed too much and you don't want to do it, you could really underexpose your picture and still have the file completely fine. So I understand a bit the decision, okay, not to place IBIS first, because it would probably make the camera larger, and also it would probably cost a lot more. I wish there was an IBIS, okay, but there is none. Okay, so is it a problem? For some people it will be, for some people it won't be. But it's not as bad as many people think when they hear no IBIS. Well, it's a no buyer, okay? So for me, that would not stop me from buying. Then f4. Many people say, oh yeah, but this lens is not luminous. Well, most people who say that, they've never used a medium format camera. I tell you, I've got the 55mm 1.7 on my GFX. I never use it at 1.7. Why? Because of depth of field. Unless you want to make a portrait and just have the lash that is in focus, you always close down the aperture. It's really rare that I open less than f4. Normally I'm f4, 5.6, f8, f11. So I think that's also a wise decision to decide, yes, let's start at f4, which is the equivalent of f2 in depth of field if we speak about the Fujifilm X106. And I think this is completely fine. And if you need shallow depth of field and luminous lens, then medium format is not for you, not this camera. Any camera in medium format will not give you both. If you want a depth of field that is acceptable and a lot of light, you need to go to another system. That's simple. So for me, people who say f4 is not luminous enough, most of them have never used a medium format, and they don't realize that it is completely logical to close down the lens. So I prefer the decision they've made in the way that I prefer to have a smaller lens, a compact lens that fits in the body, that makes the whole thing a lot smaller, than to have 2.8. I would carry extra weight, extra volume, and probably extra price. For part of the lens I would not ever use. Okay, so for me that's a good point. But still, I think for some people it is negative. So I have to say it. Now let's speak about image quality. There are two types of image quality. One is the sensor image quality and one is the lens image quality. If we speak about the sensor, you already know the results. You will get exactly the same quality, dynamic range, everything you get with the GFX 100S2 and the 102. Difference between those two is one is high speed for refreshing all this, but the image quality is the same. And then you have the lens quality. By the way, it's 16-bit, okay, 16-bit of colors, okay, like every medium format. So if we speak about the optical quality, that's another story, because nowadays it's really hard to know the truth about optical quality, because they always work in with the processor, in this case the X5, they always work in the processor and make some improvement of the base. So you don't really know if the lens is really okay or not. So what I have observed today, okay, I speak about today or up to today, because very often a firmware upgrade will better the results. So you don't know exactly the truth. And in this case, as you cannot remove the lens, you would not be able to even put it in a special machine to analyze the optical part. So it's hard to say. So what I've observed so far is at f4, you do have a bit of vignetting. On the raw file, on the JPEG, it doesn't appear. So clearly they clean it up, they fix it. Target with me, so I'm at the hotel. I took the Financial Times to have really small letters to check. So here at f4, center, this is so tiny, these letters. We see the paper structure. Let's check the border. The border is really good. This corner is not perfect, but it could be the printing, okay? But still here, as you can see, this is really good. Let's check the right. Right, is really good. Also, maybe the alignment of my camera is maybe not perfect. Here, don't take into account the vignetting, because I just had one light, not that big, lighting in the center, so we cannot judge on this picture the vignetting. The vignetting appeared on another picture, okay? But still, I think is nothing you cannot correct, okay? This is a raw file, okay? Amazing. 5.6. Let the picture load, okay? As you can see, this is really good. Let's check the border here. As you can see, the small print, the smallest print here. Here at the bottom, there was a really small print. I'm on 5.6. Okay. The lens looks really good. To me, it's really, really good. F8, the center here. Let it load. Okay. Really small print. Really, look at this. This, when it writes so small, this is smaller than any target I use, okay? This is really, really, really good, okay? This is F8, okay? Right. It is pretty amazing. Let's check at F11. Center is really good. Okay, I'll check the border. I don't see really diffraction on F11. Okay, that looks really good. Let's the corner, bottom corner, that's really good. Let's check F16, the center here. It holds. Maybe there starts to be a bit of diffraction here. Yeah, diffraction starts to enter a bit on the side, the borders, okay, but not much. F22, obviously, that should be a lot more visible. Let's wait for it to load. Yeah, here we do see the diffraction. That is obvious on F22, okay? So now we're going to check if there is field curve. Here, I focus on the right here. Let it load. As you can see, this is sharp, F4. The field curve I checked on F4. The center is not as sharp there. So I suspect, let's check the other side here. I made the focusing here. As you can see, this is sharp, okay, but the center is not as sharp. So I do believe there is maybe a bit of field curve, okay? But still, I think the results are, for a compact lens, are really amazing, as you can see. You can see the paper structure, all this. This is a really great result, honestly. Really, I'm so surprised. I would say that the borders and corners at f4 are soft, okay? They're not as sharp as the center, but also it could be improved via firmware upgrade. So they would cheat on it, as many brands do. So I don't know the future, but so far this is what I've seen, okay? Still, I think the sharpness in the center is really nice. The micro contrast is nice. So for me, I need to wait a bit to be able to tell you if this is the definitive look of the results or if it will better a bit. so far, it's completely acceptable. What I'm telling is being really picky on the results, okay? But when you pay that price, you have the right to be picky, okay? I'm not looking at the Chinese lens that costs 50 euros, okay? Look at the camera that has a cost, okay? So, but honestly, this is what I see, that the borders are a bit soft and there is a bit of vignetting at f4. And by the way, if you wanted to help me, I can help you too, because I've activated the member area of my YouTube channel. There I don't speak about gear, just about tuition, photography techniques. There's a join button just below, so you can access exclusive video just for members. Also leave your affiliated links in the description. Please use them, that really helps me. And don't forget, if you buy Luminar, Neo or Aperty by Skyline, get a 10% discount extra. With my code ERIC10 extra, because it's on top of any offer they have. If you see a great offer, because they often have great offers, you still place my code and you save even more money. Thank you so much, that really helps me. Let's carry on. So my conclusion, honestly, if you cannot afford a camera like this, don't touch it, don't look at it, don't try it, because you're likely to fall in love, okay? Right now, I'm thinking of what excuses do I have not to buy a camera like this. Obviously, it's not a camera for everyone. If your type of picture is like a shooting sport with your subject 100 meters away from you, that's not the camera for you. But otherwise, when you touch a camera, you forget about everything I've said about the IBIS, about the a bit of vignetting. You forget about everything of this. Why? Because as I said very often, the technical side of a camera is important. But the fact that you feel good with the camera, the fact that you feel happy to go out with it, you would like to have a coffee, place the camera on the table, look at it like this as if you were a teenager in love with the camera. This is what you're going to feel, okay? So that sounds stupid, but it's so important. If you feel good with your camera, you're going to use it, you're going to have fun with it, you're going to carry it everywhere. And this is the type of camera you fall in love with, the same as I fell in love with my X106. And honestly, it's incredible. Now let's speak about price. Some people will say that's expensive, but they don't realize what product we're speaking about. First, it's not expensive if you compare to any other medium format camera. Because if you look at any other GFX, you add to a lens, it's more expensive than this. Okay, so I don't speak about the 50 million pixel because they're not made anymore. You can still find them. I speak about the 100 million pixel. Okay, so honestly, price with this body and the lens that is stuck on it, this is a great price. Obviously, you cannot compare to the camera you bought 10 years ago that was 500 euros, and now you speak about a medium format. That has nothing to do. This camera compares to a camera that also costs 5,000 US dollars or euros or 5,500 euros 10 years ago. Compared to with inflation, you update the price and we're similar. We look at this, okay? So no, the price is not expensive for what it is. Second, many people buy a full frame camera that is more expensive than this. When they add up the lens, is a lot more expensive than this, and they use it for something that this one would be better for them. If you get, for example, an Alpha 9 Mark III by Sony, or a Nikon Z9 or Canon R5 Mark II for street photography, that doesn't make sense. Buy this. But if you make picture of birds flying 200 meters away, obviously this is not the camera for you. But if you're the type of person that look for image quality, has the budget for that, because you compare to other camera that cost the same or a lot more than this when you add a lens, that's the best option, no doubt. But the best thing would be great if you could try it, okay? But if you cannot afford it, don't even try it. But if you are the kind of client that goes for this reportage camera, street photography camera, all this, and they have high quality or high price full frame camera, this is more logical to get this, in my opinion, after you do what you want, okay? But in my opinion, this is a better option, okay? But yes, this camera for me is completely recommendable if you're this type of user, obviously. So for me, yes, great. But if you also like the sensor that is the best sensor on the market right now, and you like more versatility, changing lenses. Obviously, it's more logical to get another GFX line of camera that you actually swap lenses, but then the budget will be higher, okay? Still lower than a Hasselblad, okay? But if we look at this, and this price is even cheaper than a Leica Q3, for example. So I think the price is fine for what they offer. I would say it's in the low part of that type of budget, okay? So I think this is great. So for me, yes, this camera is completely recommendable. So if you're interested in getting this camera, I've got 2 points. The first one, please use my link in description. The second, don't wait for ordering it. I am sure this camera is going to fly away like every new camera of that high range of camera. It happens not just with Fujifilm, with many brands. And if you wait for it to be at your shop shelf, you're going to wait a long time. So the first one to order, the first one to receive it. Still, we saw some delay with the Fujifilm X106, but now I see some people, they bought on the 23rd of December and they got it on their home on the 27th of December. So now this part is solved, but at the start, it's always harder. Why? Because they cannot organize a production just for the first month, and then after, what do they do with the workers? So obviously they prefer to have everything organized in time. So if you want this camera, order it. You will be in time to cancel your order, but order it if you want it, okay? This is my best piece of advice, okay? So thank you so much to Olivier Saint-Jory from Fujifilm France for always helping me to get some gear from Fujifilm, try, test it. I pay for my gear, okay, at Fujifilm, but when I test, they lend it to me, I send it back, obviously. Thank you so much to Fujifilm France for inviting me. Obviously, thank you so much to Fujifilm Japan, because at the end they organize everything and they actually build this camera. Really nice to have met some people at the X Summit at Prague. And thank you to you for watching the video. If you feel it may interest other people, please share it on social networks. If you have not done it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The small button down here and there's a small bell. If you click on the bell, you will get notified when I upload a new video. My website, ericgibaud.com. If you have any question, can leave a comment below. I remind you I've activated the member area of my YouTube channel. I don't speak about gear, just photo tuition tips, all this. There's a join button just below so you can have access to this exclusive member video. Also, leave you affiliated links in the description. Please use them, that really helps me. And don't forget, if you buy from Skylum, Luminar Neo or Aperty, you get a 10% discount with my code ERIC10. It's extra discount on top of any offer they have. So if you see a special offer, still place my code and you get even better price. Thank you so much, that really helps me. Also leave you my PayPal account in case you wanted to make a donation. Thank you very much, please take care of yourself and see you soon. Bye! you.